But something else about the second coming. If you can collect a dozen passages, over a dozen passages, that talk about the second coming as a very dramatic event, obviously. You can also collect a group of passages that describe the rapture in very different terms. And I don't have the time to go through each one of these. I'm going to categorize them in a different way. These two groups of passages are contradictory. The group of passages that talk about the rapture I'll put in one bucket, the others, the second coming, another, and I'll call the different sections. In the one case, you have the translation of believers only. In the second coming of Christ, there is no translation mentioned. The translation occurs before, at the rapture, or at the end of the 1,000 years. There's two different things. In the rapture, the translated saints go to heaven. In the second coming, the translated saints return to the earth. There's a difference. They're opposites, in fact. In the rapture, the earth isn't judged. In the second coming, that's the whole purpose of it. It is judged. The rapture is described as being imminent. That is, it could happen at any moment. Jesus clearly instructs us to expect him at any time. The second coming is quite different. It follows after 7 years of details that precede the second coming. The rapture is not in the Old Testament. I think it's hinted in a couple places, but it's not formally there. It's certainly, the second coming is predicted all through the Old Testament. The rapture is believers only. The second coming affects all men on the planet Earth. The rapture occurs before the day of wrath. The second coming concludes the day of wrath. This rapture has no reference to Satan. The second coming, Satan's bound. In the rapture, Jesus comes for his own. In the second coming, he comes with his own. He comes in the air in the one case. He comes to the earth in the other. He claims his bride in the rapture. He comes with his bride in the second coming. In the rapture, only his own shall see him. Do you realize that from the crucifixion on, he was only seen by loving eyes and only handled by loving hands? Interesting. And even in the rapture, only his own will see him. In the second coming, every eye shall see him. Rapture, the tribulation begins, or shortly thereafter, and the second coming is when the millennium begins, not the tribulation. Rapture is the church only. The second coming, there are many scholars believe the Old Testament saved are raised after the millennium.